Yeah. So today we'll look at Microsoft PowerPoint, that is advanced. So I believe we did some time back. So this is an advanced version of Microsoft PowerPoint. So my notes, my lectures are self-explanatory, so you have to practice them on your own. So this will lead us to understanding charts. So if we say charts, what are these? So charts are used primarily to depict numerical data such as statistics or percentages in a graphical format that is easier to understand and quicker to digest than a list of numbers and figures. There are many different kinds of charts, and some chart types suit certain purposes better than others. Creating charts in PowerPoint is very simple. So the place where you can find all these features of inserting a chart is on Insert tab when you open PowerPoint. Then you go to the chart. In the illustrations group to display the Insert Chart dialog box. Then you find different features that will help you to that will help you to create the charts. And once if you create the chart, it will be accompanied by Excel worksheet that contains the data which has been presented on the chart. So this is the chart, as you see. Then this is an accompanied spreadsheet. You can manipulate this place. It will work as if you are on a Microsoft Excel. So you can change this data, all these series. So these are the column names, and this refers to any what? It refers to any information about a particular individual. So you can, for example, you can have names of individuals here. So this will represent subjects. So you can make all those changes, and here you can include the marks, the scores that they have acquired. Yeah, so I have already mentioned all this. You have got Excel worksheet which is opened. Once if you get a chart, you have got a chart area. So this is the chart area. So the numbers that you see here, they are referring, they have been described here, the functions of those tools that we see on the chart. You can also change the chart type by simply going to these particular tools. You go to chart tools, design tab, then you can change the chart type that you are looking for. So what you have to note is that some charts will not be suitable for some data. For example, if you have defined 5 data series, you could not change the chart type to a pie chart, as pie charts present data for only one series. Now, for instance, for instance, here we have got all these particular series, and here we have got these categories. So in this case, let us simply say the categories are representing the names of the students, the series are representing the subjects which they are taking. So you cannot create a pie chart using all this data we see here. So you can either choose where simply select one category here. So with this category, including the column names that we have here, we can create a chart. Or else, we can simply remove all these other records, and now it will remain with the marks of this or the categories and their associated figures. So what happens if you get a chart is going to give you a pie chart, is going to give you that particular pie chart accordingly. But all this data cannot work if we want to change this particular chart type to a different chart type, which is a pie chart. Or else you can change it to a histogram or scatter plot and so on, then that is possible. Charts, they are made of elements, of which so these elements are the chart title, data labels, legend, and more. So each of these elements can be individually formatted, moved, and in some cases hidden or shown to create exactly the chart you want for your presentation. This is the diagram. So this is the chart type. This is the data labels you can see. So which is number what? Okay, 5, but it has its own associated explanation here. Number 1 will put the chart type. Number 2 will put the plot area. So this is the plot area. As we have seen, all these the data has been plotted here. So this is the plot area. Chat buttons. So where these are the chat buttons. So you can use these buttons to manipulate your chat. So the next we have got legend. So which is number 4. So this is the legend. Legend we are referring to the what? To the variables that are representing this particular data. So in this case, when you look at these bars here, for example, they are saying under exports we have got these countries. So each car represents a particular country. So we have got red. Is it red, which is USA? Yellow, France. Is it dark red, Switzerland? The other one, German. And the other one is Canada. I'm not good at colors. I don't even know some of these colors. So number 5, we've got data labels. So these are the data labels. As you can see, there are some figures representing the amount of the exports. For this one, imports and so on. So here you can tell that which country exports more compared to other countries, and which country imports more compared to other countries, and which country has domestically is doing well, or else is not doing well, as you can see. So this represents that Switzerland is a bit high. We can also change the layout of the chart elements, and these are the steps that you can follow. So these are the steps that you can follow, as you can see, and some of the steps they repeat themselves in reference to the previous slides that we've looked at. So this one is also represents the data. For example, if you change, you can work on these particular charts. So you can change the x-axis, you can add the type if you want. So usually use these particular chart elements, chat buttons. So these chat buttons are there to help you manipulate the information. You can add the access, you can add the chat type, data labels, and so on. So if you tick, it means that you have the data label. If you detick it, nothing is going to appear. You can apply chart style. So there are tools in PowerPoint that will help you to design your chart so they could look nice. So it will be according to your preference. So just try to practice with them. You can format your chart elements. You can give them colors. You can do whatever you want. You can also edit the information on the chart, on the information on the associated Excel of the chart. You can hide data series if you want, so you can follow all these steps. It's very simple and easier. You can also insert a table using the ribbon. So here you can insert the table on the PowerPoint, and you can get it accordingly. So for instance, if you select the table, if you place the down arrow, you will be presented with a dialog box that says insert table. So all these boxes, they represent number of rows. So if you go this way, it represents number of columns. If you go down here, it represents number of rows that you want. So in this case, if I want to have 5 columns, then I will move to the right up to 5 spaces. Then if I need 10 columns or 5 columns, then I have to move down accordingly. Then I'll have 5 columns. Then I'll pick there a table of 5 columns, and a table of 5 rows will be created. So these are the steps that you are supposed to follow. So as you work with a table, you add data, you may find that you need extra rows. So that is also possible. So if you need extra rows and columns, you can click anywhere in the table, position the cursor where you want, then you can right click, then you'll be asked, a pop-up will come out to insert a table. You can insert a row above or below the current row, or else you can insert a column to the right or to the left of the position where you have positioned your cursor. So these are the steps that you can follow, like inserting rows, doing this and that, inserting columns. It's very simple. Yeah, so like in this case you can add. So we have got this particular table, you can insert information as you want. Then below here you can just right click and insert a row if you want to be below, or else if you want to add a column here, that is also possible. You can also add a header row, that is also possible. So the options, you go on the table design and you get all the tools that you want to use. You can delete a row or a column, just the way we do it in Excel. You can do that table. So you can also merge cells, that is possible as you're doing it in Word. You can split the table cells, that is possible by following the instruction given. And you can also specify the number of columns, box, the number of new cells that you want. You can also do that. You can remove the content of a cell by simply selecting and remove the content in the cell. You can also import content from other applications into your PowerPoint. Whereby we use the object linking and embedding. So you can insert content only from programs that support OLE and are installed on your computer. To see what types of content you can insert, simply go to the Insert tab in the text group, click Object, then the Insert Object box lists the object types you can use. So this particular slide simply shows you the ways that you can use to insert content objects into PowerPoint and embed it. So the same thing applies here. Then you can also follow the same instructions here. So this is the process of doing that. It's a dialog box. You have to see something like what I'm seeing here. Then you follow all those instructions. It's very easy. You can insert pictures or images in PowerPoint. Yeah, so you follow all these instructions. Now, if you're inserting things on PowerPoint, so the most important tab is the Insert tab. That is where you find a lot of tools that you can use to insert whatever you want. So you can insert pictures, you can also insert videos, that is possible. You can insert pictures from your computer, or else you can insert pictures from the internet. From the internet, that is all possible. But you should make sure each time you are making your presentation, you are connected to the internet, so that when you are presenting, the picture that you have inserted from the internet should appear on your slide. Yeah, on the web, you can insert a clip art. So PowerPoint has has inbuilt clip art that you can use to insert into a document. So these are the clip art. Some of them are online, but some of them are within. So these are the clip art that you can choose from. So for example, I attempted to insert one. So this is the monkey that you see on the slides. You can also add background picture to slides. That is very possible. So this is how you do it. You can manipulate, you can do different things with PowerPoint, inserting the background so that your text should be up front and the background should be at the back. You can also remove the background picture if you want. You can format the slide background with the color. That is very possible. So these are the steps that you can follow. You can also add animations and transitions. So the animations are the one that makes the text to animate. Animations, they can move up and down as you are transitioning. They can jump, they can slide, and so on. In terms of transitioning, so these are the animations you see when you are moving from one slide to another slide. You can make everything to animate. You can make the text to animate, you can make the image to animate, you can even make the video that have inserted on your PowerPoint to animate. So as I said, transition effects are used to transition from one slide to the next. Generally, presentation will have more impact on the audience if you carefully select a few effects rather than using too much. So if you use too much of the transition effects, even the animations, it will make your audience feel boring, because it's like now you're just playing around. So usually you go to the animations tab. That's where you get the tools that will help you to animate your text, or table, or image, so on. So we have got 3 types of animations. We have got entrance animation. So the entrance animation is usually applied when you have just landed on your next slide. So this should be the first animation which has to take place as you are just entering into the slide. For the emphasis, it means that this one has to be applied more especially when you are still on the slide you are reading. So it has to be like it is emphasizing the point to draw the audience attention. The exit is when now you are exiting, you want to move to the next slide. So it means now the text will be animated to indicate that you are exiting that particular slide. You are going to the next slide. So animations actually occurs within the slide, where transition animation is the one that happens if we're moving from one slide to another. So all these are the tools. You see them when you be working around, practicing, doing this and that and so on. So all these are the tools. You see them, just follow along, then you get it. Yeah, so very simple and straightforward. So my presentation ends here. Any question you can send to me so that I could respond accordingly. Thank you so much.